Okay, so if you guys have been following me long enough, you know that I like Blender and I like Substance Designer and Painter. And like those are the main parts of my workflow. I use Blender for modeling, sculpting, and setting up the textures, Substance Designer and Painter for texturing the objects, okay? And that's my workflow. That's like the majority of my workflow. But then I come to the issue. How do I get a Substance SBSAR file? You know, the Substance archival file. How do I get Blender to read that? So in last video, I believe it was last video, I talked about the Adobe plugin. The Adobe plugin is in its infancy. It has a lot of promise, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here. But this time, I'm going to talk about the plugin that I mentioned a few times in that video, the Xolotl SBSAR to Blender plugin. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about that plugin today. I'm going to be showing the installation process, what files you need, and why it's a hassle to get it nowadays. So, let's get into this. Oh yeah, and I'm using two displays here, so that's why it looks like I'm looking to my left all the time. But yeah, so we're looking at Steam, and I run Blender through Steam because automatic updates, duh. But I'm looking at Blender in Steam, and we've got 1,214 hours so far. It should be double that. And it's Substance Designer. You know, I run these here. Let's launch Substance Designer so I can show you what I do in Designer. It's gonna take a couple seconds. Make sure you know, while you're working, you always have water. You want to stay hydrated, that's important. So in Designer, I like to make a lot of different materials, mostly patterns, because with patterns, you can build up complex materials. And with those patterns, I build up libraries. Like in my fabric library, I've got all the different cloth patterns I did. You know, the waves, the Moroccan lattice patterns, you see, I have them here. But I want to use that in Blender, which Blender does not support SBSARs out of the box. There's no way to do that. And it's, you know, kind of dumb. So what we have to do is we're going to Gumroad, and over on Gumroad, oxalotlstudio.gumroad.com, I'll be posting this link down below. We can find that he has a plugin called Substance Plugin for Blender. Use Substance SBSAR files inside Blender. You know, this one. It's only $20. It's a $20 plugin. But this plugin has been around for a while. I've been using this for 3-4 years now, I think. I don't know. But I have been using it for a while. And as it says here, all we need is Blender 2.8 or higher. Works with EV, Cycles, and Octane, you people of that, you know, that industry standard renderer, Octane. And the Substance Automation Toolkit 2019 or higher, which I am lucky I have that because I've been using I've been using Substance for a while. So as we see here, you know, the Automation Toolkit. Sadly, to get the Automation Toolkit, you have to request it, so probably going to like the Adobe contact page and requesting it through there, you know, being like, hey, I have Substance Designer, it's through in my Steam, through my Adobe account, you know, just saying that, and hopefully they give it to you, because, yeah, I had a lot of hassle just getting the 2021 version, because I had the 2020 version, now the 2021 version. But that's not important. Okay, so we're in Blender now. You download the plugin from here, you know, after you purchase it. I have the plugin already and downloaded it on my library files. Okay, so data drive, Blender, plugins, okay, Xolotl, SBSAR, and 214. This version, okay? It's easy. You just install it. You make sure you install the Automation Toolkit too. It's just a background task that bridges Designer with whatever. And it can even bridge Painter with whatever, you know, live link type stuff. So we've got that here. It has an automatic path for, you know, your toolkit. You click Connect SAT. That's all I do. Success. SAT is connected. It says that down there. It's successful. So that's good. Next, we need the default output path. The default output path is where it will output your materials when they're made. Okay? So, say you have a project file and you want to default to only there, you would go, you click that, go to wherever your project is, let's go Blender, Assets, Personal, and then this one, this is what I've been using for my files, a cache file. But for this example, I'm going to be putting it in my Blender cache folder over here. So that's my default output path, okay? And then library path. This is where your SBSARs live. You can just import an SBSAR by itself, but we're going to be setting up this. So in my case, data file, Substance Designer, SBSAR, Personal. That's where all my SBSARs live. And this is also where Painter reads my SBSARs from, so that I can just move them back and forth, between the Painter, Designer, and Blender, move them back and forth between all those software. It's really good workflow in my opinion. So we've got that there. Yeah, sure, GPU, it'll output the textures as PNGs, because yes, it outputs your materials that you use here as a PNG. It has to. That's the only way you can read directly from them. Even the Adobe plugin does that. I'll probably go into that more later. Live update, we don't want to turn that on. I'll probably show what it does later in the video, but not right now. So we've got the plugin installed. Everything's good. Let's restart Blender. Don't save. Wait for it. Launch. Okay. Now we're back in Blender, okay? We've got the plugin installed. We've got everything going, which is amazing. We go to shading, okay? We go to shading. Let's drag this up and zoom this in over here. And we've got our material. This is the default material on an object, okay? We press N, we go over here. I'll talk about FX nodes later. It's a really cool plugin. Then we go over down to where it says Xolotl. As we can see here, it's got a really nice drop-down menu where you can see a preview of everything of your materials. Let's select tiles. It's got this drop-down menu too. So tiles, and then we can select which tile pattern we want. Let's say rectangle basket weave. Create material. And we wait. I forgot to select the object. But there we go. See, it puts the material on the object. It's that easy. It also sets it up. It just completely sets up the material. It sets it up to go up to UVs and to mapping, all the maps that you created for it. It multiplies the AO with the base color to give it shadows, of course. And then it even sets up displacement down here using the height data, which is amazing. That's just perfect. But you're thinking, that's a bit too small. There's two ways of fixing this. The first way is we can go over here, we can change the tiling, and tile the whole material. We can tile the whole material like that and click refresh texture. And since it's using the same name, it's able to refresh the texture. Okay, but it doesn't seem to have, tiling, okay. Okay, yeah, no, you have to click create material again for that. Because the relative path settings are in the created material, whereas the parameters down here had to be refreshed. Okay, so we have it tiling 5 ways. That's one way of tiling it 5 times. But how I personally do it isn't like this. I just go back. I don't do it like this. And this is amazing because it uses the mapping node. I can just go over here and change the scale. Tile it 5 times like that, just by changing the scale on the mapping node. So you're thinking, okay, we just imported a basic material. We haven't done anything with it yet. Okay, so you want to do something else? Okay, okay. Let's make it blue with, I don't know, yellow. Blue and yellow tiles. You're crazy. You want blue and yellow tiles. Let's do blue and yellow tiles. There we go. Blue and yellow tiles. 2 buttons. Well, 3 technically. And you're like, I don't want the grout to look like that. So, okay. We'll make the grout more of a pink color, okay? Go back up. Refresh textures. That easy. It's literally that easy. And you're like, it looks a bit flat. Where's that displacement? You're wondering. Oh, well, displacement's only a cycles feature, so we go into cycles, and there we go. We've got the displacement. The tiles are displaced a little bit because they're tiles. They're close to the ground, obviously. But because it uses the displacement node right here, we're able to fix that. We can increase the scale, which, as we can see, it's scaling in and out of the displacement. You can also increase and decrease the mid-levels. But that won't really do much because I didn't set up any other displacement stuff in here. So that's the basics of this. Let's switch back to Eevee because my computer's chugging now. Okay. So I don't really know what else to say. This plugin is straightforward. The main issue though is if let's say I call this one tiles 1, okay? But then I go and select another pattern, it renames it back to tiles. And I'm like not paying attention, you know? And I just click create material. And I'm wondering, wait, where's my other tile pattern? That's because the plugin, and even the Adobe plugin does this too, it resets the name to the library name. So tiles and tiles 1 and tiles whatever, they're all the same until you rename and redirect the name to the directory of it. And I can give an example of that really fast. Let's open, where is it? Give me a second on this. Let's go and open, because I've also been using this in Blender 3.0, which it works amazingly there. And this is a feature I'm hoping that Adobe puts into their plugin. It's that you don't have to bake the materials, but instead just have it saved as asset files, each material. But shading, as we can see here, if I select cloth chevron, see? Cloth chevron isn't selected here automatically. If I want to change this pattern, cloth, I have to get the name. Easily, Control C, put it in here, name. Make sure the graph is the same, cloth chevron. And then let's change that to red and, yeah, red and black. Sure, why not? Refresh textures. And it's just refreshing the texture files, which I believe for this one is saved. Did something else happen? Oh, okay, yeah, now I see. Wait, did it? Personal, XOL, cache. Okay, so the cloth chevron pattern did change over here, but didn't change here. Well, that's kind of my fault. Because how I have it set up here is, and this is taking the imported materials from the Xolotl plugin, but it's piping it through a contrast node and a mix node so I can work on colors and change them on the fly in real time. But there we go, it should be red and black? Give me a second, figuring this out. I did not prepare before this video, so. Oh, okay, I see what's wrong. Okay. Okay, okay. Okay, because I usually name my materials XOL, you know, denoting I'm using the Xolotl plugin. What library? Fabric, and then it's a pattern, and then chevron. Okay, so let's grab that portion, Control C, Control V. And now we can refresh the texture. There we go, black and red. Just like that. Sorry for the hiccups. I'm doing these videos in real time because it feels more organic to me. But yeah, by doing that, I'm able to change the colors like this. And you're like, I don't want black and red anymore. Let's right click this. We can right click this and I believe click reset. Reset default value. Oh, that doesn't work though because it resets it all to 0, 0, 0. Because Blender is stupid and it doesn't realize that it had a preset value at one point. RGB, there we go. Refresh textures. We're refreshing the textures now, and there we go, the closet chevron texture. And let's get rid of the ones I don't want here, these. And as we can see, all my material files are saved in here. Every single one. And if we were to new general, don't save, you know, in 3.0, and I did make a video about the asset browser, but I didn't really post it because I didn't think it was good enough. If we go into the asset browser, personal, we can see all my assets here. Objects, geometry, shading, and we've got all of our materials here. Even the cloth chevron, which we created with the Xolotl plugin. So, and I know this video is a bit rambly, but the Xolotl SBSAR to Blender plugin is amazing. I doubt the Adobe plugin will change it anytime quickly. The only big, and I mean big downside of the plugin is you need the Substance Automation Toolkit. You need the SAT, which right now is hard to get because Adobe is like, well, we want the industry to have it, but we don't want the indies to have it. So the indies have to request it while the industry, the long-standing people like EA or Ubisoft, they can just be like, hey, it's ending soon. Can we get another version? For us as indies, we have to be like, hey, I sent an email. Can I get access? Oh, you're saying that's only for enterprise users? Okay. Well, this person on Twitter told me I could get it. You have to have someone who's literally told you, hey, you can do it. Here it is. Everything you need right here. But yeah, hopefully that changes soon. Hopefully the Adobe version of the plugin gets better. Hopefully the Xolotl version that gets better. Several people that I've talked to on Twitter who work for Adobe Substance right now have said that they want support to the indies. They want us indies to still have support, which hopefully that's still their belief going 2, 3, 5 years from now since Adobe owns Substance. But enough rambling. Thank you all for watching. I want to make more content like this. I have more videos planned. My next one is planned. It's about a cool project I did recently for triplanar masking in Blender. I'm planning a video on that, showing how I made it, how you can make it yourself, and some of the struggles with it, But if y'all want to see me continue making content like this and content more and more often and quickly, then support me on Patreon. Link down below. Yeah. I don't know what to say. I'm going to link the Xolotl plugin down below. I'm going to link the whatever documentation I can for the Substance Automation Toolkit down below. And hopefully you guys like this video. Thank you all for watching and have a good day.